The biggest misconception in credit repair. I'm Asib. I'm a consumer protection attorney. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, I sue the credit bureaus Experian, Equifax, TransUnion for inaccuracies that I see on credit reports and get those fixed and get the consumer compensation. A lot of credit repair companies ask me the same question every time. Is it inaccurate if one of the credit bureaus is not reporting a trade line like the other two? Does it have to be unanimous across the board? The answer to that is no. Just because one of the credit bureaus is reporting something different than the other two does not mean that the trade line is inaccurate. A lot of credit repair companies don't understand the concept of historical reporting. Look at the date last reported. If that is a date that's different than the other two credit bureaus, it may be that they are just reporting accurate data, but from a prior date and haven't received an update from the furnisher. So a lot of people tell me, oh, the balance is different across the three bureaus. Look at the date last updated. It may have just been updated a while ago. Doesn't mean it's inaccurate. It means it's accurate, but from a prior date. And mind you, the FCRA only applies when there's an inaccuracy. So you can only sue if there's an inaccuracy that's not fixed after dispute. That is not inaccurate. Each bureau processes data differently and independently. An account number or balance may be miskeyed at one bureau and correct at another. Also, the FCRA only applies when things damage you. If there is harm caused by the inaccuracy, if there's a missing account number, like part of it, or if there's a date that's 3 days off of the open date, that's not going to be a reason why you get denied credit. Things that drop your credit score is harm. A missing number in an account number or a date that is 3 days off of the open date is not a reason your score will drop. It's not a reason you may be denied credit. There are also timing differences. Credit reports operate on their own schedule. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, usually monthly, but not always the same day. A payment made on the 1st might appear on Equifax by the 5th, but TransUnion a week later. So that may be a reason why the three bureaus are not reporting the same balance during the same time. Another huge misconception, people often think, hey, I was able to get the bankruptcy removed on one of the bureaus. First of all, that's not accurate. If you file for bankruptcy, it has every right to be on the credit report. Just because you got it removed somehow with your credit repair tactics does not give you the right to get it removed from the other two. The balance, the bankruptcy is not inaccurate. Technically, if it got removed from a bureau, maybe you got lucky. But that does not mean you now have the right and have proof that it should get removed from the other two. Proof does not come from the way the credit is reporting on the other two bureaus. That is not proof of the actual status of a trade line. Proof can only come from one place. How the furnisher is reporting or what the furnisher is saying. That is proof. If there is a balance that is to be reporting the same way, you need to go to the furnisher to get the actual balance of the account and dispute with that proof attached, not disputing with the proof of how the other bureaus are reporting. That's not proof. That doesn't, just because a bureau is reporting a certain way does not mean that it is actually how your credit looks. So dispute outcomes have nothing to do with accuracy. Has nothing to do with whether something has a right to be on your credit report. Just because something's removed somewhere does not mean you now have the right to get it removed elsewhere. Huge misconception in credit repair. Another thing to note, creditors don't always report to all three reporting agencies. It's voluntary and it costs money, and it's not a legal requirement to report to all three. You'll sometimes see some insurers that report to just TransUnion, or some credit unions or smaller lenders that just report to one of the bureaus. So just because it's reporting on there and not the other two does not mean that you have the right to get it off. The only thing you have the right to get off is accounts that you do not recognize if it is a result of identity theft or a mixed file. Then you can dispute and see if it comes back verified as accurate. We file lawsuits if it does. So the key takeaway, non-uniform reporting is normal, inaccurate reporting is not. The absence of an account on one bureau is usually benign. It doesn't matter. But if a derogatory item appears at one bureau that isn't accurate, or an account you don't recognize shows up anywhere, that warrants immediate action. Your credit score is usually calculated separately from each bureau's data, which is why scores can vary meaningfully across the three, and doesn't mean that one of them is definitely inaccurate.